Fuck. Let's jump in the middle, I guess. It didn't rewind.
It's like we're starting from the
Maxwell Scroggs, what a theme song you've made.
This is poppin'. This is vibey. I like it.
Very special day. Every day's a special day. Whatever. That's what I've been doing at the start of every. That's kind of become my thing. But fuck it. Listen, guys. This is a very special day. Mackenzie Mollison is here. Usually, I have guests introduce themselves to the camera, but guess what? I'm a huge fuck up. And so I hit record on the camera.
No, you're not.
I sat down.
Don't say that.
And we just got into the pod, dude. We just ripped about 25 minutes, and I looked down, and we were not recording. And I tried to subtly hit record, and I noticed Mackenzie see it and not say anything.
I didn't
which was
know.
Very nice.
I didn't know exactly.
You thought it was just a button, maybe the big red circle
I was like,
button.
oh, that must be the volume.
Anyways, guys, I'm probably not gonna keep in the part without good audio. But it's fun, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So now we're gonna pick up in the middle of a conversation. Have fun. Let's recenter. Let's refocus.
Do you want to take a breath together?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah. I feel better. I feel better. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
So,
how zen of us.
We're centered.
We're already in that LA headspace.
Do you yoga?
All the time.
Hot yoga?
It's become my exercise route of choice. I did hot yoga a couple days ago. I've only done hot yoga a couple times, but a couple days ago was the best I've ever done in hot yoga.
Did you see me press this button like 5 minutes ago, by the way?
Yeah.
I saw you clock it, and that was a mistake by me. So
That's okay.
I think there's about 10 minutes up top that we don't have.
That's okay.
It's on the camera, but we don't have it.
Beautiful.
So we'll see in post. I'll either leave the choppy audio in there, or
we could also take a really fun picture and just have it be the overlay.
Well, we don't. We have video, but no audio.
Wow.
We could try to do ADR.
Dying.
Just in the booth, being like, "Oh, when did you go to school?"
No, just fully. My God.
That'd be kind of funny. Basically, if I decide to start the podcast 5 minutes ago, I showered Mackenzie with praise. It was very nice.
It was really nice.
I said a lot of nice things. We talked about forensics, 90s Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
That came out so weird. 90s Saturday Night Live.
It makes sense to us.
And yeah, we talked about roots. But now, we can leave all that shit in the fucking past.
Roots, who needs them?
Fucking needs them. We're LA now, dude.
I'm fucking
all I need is Hollywood.
living large right now.
Shit, we've arrived in Ann Arbor on the timeline.
Your last night in Ann Arbor, can we point out
Holy
really
hell.
quick for the audience?
My
This is your last
official
night.
and it's gonna be I'm probably just when you leave, I'm probably just gonna sit there and like watch a movie and drink
Beautiful,
a beer.
as you should.
I
hope you do.
It's been and I'm curious to see if you feel the same. Because did you ever do a summer in Ann Arbor? Obviously,
I've done
3, dude, and it's one of my favorite things in the world. Because it's all the beauty. It's the campus at peak beauty, but you can park. You can go park places.
And you can walk outside comfortably.
Yeah. And like don't have to wait in a wraparound line to get a drink somewhere.
Oh my God.
So I love it dearly.
Go to Gar Bar and not freeze your ass off.
You can sit inside.
That's really fun.
But it's melancholy when everyone leaves,
Yeah.
Don't you feel old when you see all the undergrads?
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit.
I've felt old for a year, I will say.
I bet.
But I spent my first summer at home working a job. Second summer was COVID. So it's not like I was just here. I was here, baby. The only thing that I had to do was go walk around Carytown, go to the Sparrow Market, get some sourdough bread.
Wasn't it like, wasn't it crazy when it was like, I better go for a walk right now so I don't kill myself?
Literally.
It's like, holy shit.
And in those Carytown houses, I was like, honestly, if I'm sitting in here breathing, like the mold will get me first.
What is more dangerous, being in my house?
The mildew in the bathroom is going to get into my lungs faster than COVID. So I might as well just take a walk.
We lived in this house, dude, that the ceiling was filling with water because our kitchen was right below our bathroom, and we did not have a watertight seal on the shower door. So literally, we watched our ceiling get pregnant over the course of 2 years. Till by the end, it was down.
Congratulations.
Have you thought of any names?
Oh my God, that's beautiful. Well, let the kid be whatever it wants to be, Hunter.
Oh man. I'm not gonna riff on that. I'm not. We're too early in the show's life for me to riff on that right now.
I already did enough.
Yeah, I know. I love that you did. I love that you did. So okay, let's skip forward those first 2 years, unless there's anything that you're dying to talk about.
No, the 3 summers in Ann Arbor were repeatedly the same.
Yeah, right. Of course.
That's about all I have.
Groundhog Day, literally.
Beautiful, but like again, the melancholy.
Doesn't that make it almost like a little weirder when you're like, I'm in the most beautiful, like one of the beautiful places I could imagine, and like I'm freaking out.
Here's the thing, and maybe this is a weird thing to say so early about something so mundane and basic. Not mundane and basic. Summer in Ann Arbor is not mundane and basic. Pre-COVID versus post-COVID Ann Arbor. It's like you feel, having been here like a whole summer before, a whole summer after, and a whole summer during, it's like...
Interesting. What are the biggest changes that you've noticed?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Just
the vibe, just the way that it feels?
Everything seems a little more open now, but separate.
Yeah.
Like everything is possible to go to, but everything's like very separate because not a lot of people are like good with staying in. A lot of people are like, well, no, now we're making lots of plans to go out.
Yeah, we're back.
And it's so separate. Whereas before it was kind of like, oh, we'll see what's happening, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a ton of shit going on, but it's all kind of blending
Just do
together.
Whatever. Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
But now it's like, no, this is definitely happening. Let's definitely go, or we're definitely staying in and it's not happening.
Cool.
And then in the middle, it was just boring.
Just nothing. Yeah. Was it all? Did they always do like the in the summer in Ann Arbor on the weekends? They'll close down the streets, and the restaurants can just put tables, and the stores can put racks. Did they do that pre-COVID too?
Yeah.
I love that, dude. That's just makes you feel like cool. Like it just feels good when you see that. You know.
It's what a fun city does.
Shit's happening in your city.
I think you live in a good city when you can go out in the streets of downtown and people are
shop and drink and be merry.
Eating, yeah. What's your favorite restaurant in Ann Arbor?
Oh, what a question, Mackenzie.
And favorite bar. Those are 2 different questions.
Oh, what great questions,
and
Mackenzie.
If you can't choose, give me top 3 because
I can't choose.
Valid.
I'm gonna list off a few. My older sister went here. She's 6 years older than me, so I visited a lot, and we would always eat.
What's your sister's name?
Taylor Ann.
Hi,
I don't
Taylor.
know if she's listening to this. Well, she's very busy. All right, and one of our older cousins that also went here got really tight with Sava, the renowned Ann Arbor restaurateur. Like they're very close friends, and she became the head chef at Aventura, which is owned by Sava. Have you been to Aventura?
Yeah.
So that for a long time was far and away my favorite. The papas fritas with the cracked egg on it. Oh my god. So if you like Spanish tapas, Aventura. I'm hoping people listen to this for
and
food
good
recs.
Drinks.
Yeah, I was never. I have never been there old enough to drink.
Really.
Really.
Man. What a loss.
I know. Maybe I don't have time, dude. I only have like one good restaurant left. My favorite food ever, instilled in me as a young Jewish boy, is a good corned beef sandwich with Russian dressing on rye. Yeah. Zingerman's obviously is kind of the pinnacle, but only accessible when my parents are in town, right?
Yes.
My sister was a big Maize and Blue deli fan. I'm more partial to Amir's.
I love Amir's.
I think I, at one point, was creating a comprehensive list of, in my opinion, the best sandwiches in Ann Arbor. and like Zingerman's was pretty locked in at 1 for a while, but there was moments where I flirted with Amir's overtaking that spot.
Interesting. See, every time I go to Amir's, I either get a crepe or an acai bowl.
The acai bar looks fire. Never
They're
done it because every time I get in there, I gotta order corned beef. It does look nice.
And now I gotta go in and order corned beef on time.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Let me rip off just a couple more and then.
Totally.
Oh gosh, I love shawarma.
Oh my gosh,
Jerusalem Garden is
fire.
OP. So good. I also love Cucina right up on Main Street. I think that might be a chain, but they do street Greek food. So you can just get rice in a bowl, chicken, hummus, tzatziki, mix it up. Very good. Fuck. Let me get one more good Ann Arbor.
Give me a good bar. Where's a
Yeah,
bar
yeah, okay, that's good for restaurants.
for sure.
This is interesting because I think Ann Arbor is considered like kind of a bar town, right? And but I think it's a very like at least I always compare it to East Lansing, right? Which is I think very much a house party city.
That's true.
Obviously the bars there are crazy, but I think there's two distinct bar sections, Main Street, South U. You know, as a young man, as an undergrad, I'd like to go to Rick's in the summer when I don't have to wait 2 hours. I've never been to Rick's during the school year. Wasn't for me. Not a big.
It's all little over.
It's not. I don't get. I mean, fine. I get it.
I have to wait 4 hours. No.
Yeah. What the fuck, dude? To go in and pay like. And I've never been one to like talk to random people at bars, unless I get really drunk. So that was never a huge draw for me. Like I just wanted to go out with friends. If I was gonna go to a South U bar, I'm a big Brown Jug boy. I love
Brown Jug.
Dude, I love the food, dude. I could eat dinner at Brown Jug.
Dare I say, I like a bar where you can breathe.
Yeah, dude. Sit down.
I like a Brown Jug. I do like a Blue Lep.
Yeah.
Do I think Blue Lep is like the most fun? Do I like going and breathing there? Yes. It's never crowded.
Yeah, right.
And I do love Charlie's. I love the vibe of Charlie's. It's just you can never sit down.
Yeah, dude. You finally find one table and it's like a 4-top and you have
sugar.
8 people.
It's all just juice.
I don't like fish bowls. That's my big thing.
If they got you drunker, I'd be more excited to find a seat.
Do you think they changed the recipe because just like too many people were just fucking up? Or do you think as you get older, you're just like, oh, I'm drinking Kool-Aid?
Oh, no.
Did you close your crate?
All right, and Charlie's getting her water. Here we go.
Oh, no. I watered her. My mom's been asking my sister. I guess she stopped doing it as much recently because my sister got a big girl job. But for years, she was like, when am I going to get grandkids? Which is crazy. Like, was a crazy thing for her to ask.
Girl.
But to fill that void, she's been like spoiling Charlie. Dude, like on the holidays, she'll buy her like 4 or 5 things.
Sorry, in this economy, they are the new children.
Gen Z's new kids are dogs.
Children are the new Birkin.
Houses. Yeah, and houses are.
Did I just say Birkin? I didn't mean Birkin. I meant like a fucking house.
Yeah.
Like children are.
It's something unattainable for our generation.
It's like it's living another life and not living it.
So yeah, maybe in the 50s.
Jeez.
Okay. Sorry. Back to our conversation. Yeah. Do you think
we're gonna keep talking about the economy for a little bit, you guys? If that's okay.
Yeah, that's where Hunter Davidson economy hour.
We're super qualified for this. Charlie's gonna jump in a little bit with some of the polls.
Do you have the Q3 returns, Charlie?
How does this quarter look?
What's our quarterly report looking like?
God.
So yeah, we both took a sip at the same time. That was good timing. That's called good podcasting.
No, that's called you were cast as my brother the day I met you.
Wait, we'll get there. We're so close. We covered Main Street.
Yes.
Heidelberg and 8 Ball are
Heidelberg.
so dear to my heart because those are the 2 places that let me do stand-up.
Fuck it up.
And I would finish a show and all my friends would be there and I would be like on a high from telling jokes and then I would just get really drunk and those are probably going to end up being like some of my most core memories from here. So Heidelberg, if you come to Ann Arbor, check out the Blind Pig, catch a show, go downstairs to 8 Ball, and check out Heidelberg.
That's awesome. And so cool that you have that now.
It was it's been a very cool year. So hit me with your favorite restaurants and bars.
Oh gosh.
Give me just a couple.
Big okay. I dream of the fried chicken tacos at Isolita.
Ooh, that's a good pick. I was gonna throw a taco in there.
Yeah.
I was gonna throw a taco.
Dream of them. I think Talk is great. I think
I was gonna say I think I'm not. I do Condado. Price
it's a little basic.
Yeah. It just
Nothing
doesn't give me
crazy special.
the taste is not hitting it. And I felt like Talk. I liked the flavor blend from Talk the best.
Great drink.
But Isolita, I like the vibes of like a small family Mexican restaurant. I think Isolita does that the best.
And I can't explain it. Those fried chicken tacos. It's like their menu, I'm sure, is great. Like the whole restaurant as a whole is great.
But if you lock in on that,
the fried chicken tacos, I've gone for my birthday 3 years in a row. Like that's not even
really
like maybe not 3, 2 years in a row for sure. And then if the third year would have been like maybe not on my birthday but around, I think of them every year.
Damn, that's cool. And I feel like drinking a beer.
Bar wise, I love MASH. Sorry,
MASH. I don't know if I've been.
What?
I don't know if I've been. Is that on Main Street?
It's on. Oh, MASH. It's near Aventura. Kind of.
No, I've not been.
So MASH is like super cute little kind of like chalk on the wall kind of underground bar with a space where they always have live music.
Nice.
It's always live music.
I do love that.
There's never a DJ. It's always live music.
That's cool.
That's why.
MASH.
Live is great too.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a totally different
If you're looking to dance.
I do love dancing.
Yeah.
And I do love vibe. I
love the vibe.
I love to vibe at live sometime.
Oh, that was great. All right, that's good plugs. For people listening to want to know what to do. If you're looking for something to do, these are religious things. All right. We're in your... What kind of creative endeavors have you been tackling before we meet? Are you doing stage stuff? Are you doing screen stuff? Are you doing short form, long form? What's the vibe? Are you just focusing on class and monologues and...
Yeah. Well, in school, I'm learning how to be an arts manager or a producer.
Oh, cool.
So my concentration is like performing arts management. My minor is in playwriting. I picked that up in COVID.
I thought you were an acting major. I'm sorry.
No, that's like an incredible compliment, and I thank you for that. It's performing is what I do in my free time, and I never wanted to stray from it. I did the audition circuit going into college, and I was waitlisted at every program. Which wasn't it was a horrible feeling.
Just
in the
audition
moment.
Process is horrible to me.
The worst, most toxic environment you could possibly choose to put yourself in. Which, like, yes, now I'm going into the professional world, but at least now there's you can enter a union. Yeah. There are professional people working who have been doing this professionally for a long time. Being in the throes of college audition is like it's like Shark Week. Yeah. It's crazy.
And the idea of going into a room of like, I guess this is not college auditions so much as like the thought of auditioning for like small bit roles in Hollywood. Like the idea of going into a room with like 90 people that look more or less like a variant of you, and then going to read like 4 lines to a group of people that have heard 90 iterations of it just to be like
smiling.
Dude, they give you nothing. They're like, all right, thanks, we'll call you.
Don't want to be there.
Like that's just so mind-numbingly terrifying to me. Or just like demoralized, just like it seems like it would drain you.
It might.
Yeah, I guess.
But here's the thing. Way back when I think we were talking earlier in the first 10 minutes.
When the mics were off, but we thought they were on.
But here's a part that I didn't say. So
okay.
It's like
Perfect.
We wouldn't have even had it to cut anyway.
Nice.
When I started doing forensics and speech and debate, I didn't do it because I wanted to be an actress. I did it because I was really good at these impressions from a very young age. It got me attention, yes, but the attention wasn't what excited me. It was the fact that I had the attention and had the power over it and could go any way I wanted.
Do anything, yeah.
It was like the next choice was what made me excited.
That's what makes me think you would love stand-up comedy.
Or improv.
Yeah.
And that's why I've fallen into what I love with improv, because
really?
I don't know, like I said, forensics and SNL, those loves kind of married each other. And coming into college now, I promise this relates. If I hadn't found those specificities in those things that I love, if I had just come into college being like, no, I just love to perform, I wouldn't be fulfilled.
Yeah, no,
I feel fulfilled by like the musicality of a good joke. I feel fulfilled by like the completion of a good script that I know everything ties.
You hit all the beats.
Exactly.
Nice,
like that is what's satisfying to my creative. And a lot of times that involves like getting up and doing it myself. Yeah. But again, that's not all the time.
So are you writing like 3-act stuff at this point?
I'm trying to write anything I can.
Okay. Cool.
But stand-up is the one thing that I'm terrible at, and I would love to hear more about your take on what it's like to write stand-up, or just let it develop from you.
Yeah. So we'll get into it, and I love to talk. I love to talk about this stuff, but I'm always a little bit hesitant to do it, just because I feel like breaking down comedy, I don't know, is a slippery slope, and you could either just enter. Fuck it, we'll just get into it. For me, writing a joke is
That's all I love to do. Whether we should do it or not, it's really all my brain does. Oh God.
Well, I think cool timing for you to bring this question up. Because we had Lou Michael on yesterday, who's been doing stand-up for like 8 years now, and is someone that like I majorly respect. And I talked about it with Macy for a while, because
and I have a story about later.
Yeah, we will definitely get to that. And Macy is like one of the funniest people I've ever met, and is a huge improv person. So we talked a bit about stand-up versus improv. And to relate that to Lou, and something that Lou said was like, every stand-up comedian for like at least 10 years, pretty much across the board, is emulating another stand-up comedian that they saw. Everyone, and if you find your favorite comedian and then find an interview, and they'll say their favorite comedians, and then if you go and watch their act, you can be like, oh, he's doing Patrice O'Neill, he's doing Richard Pryor, George Carlin, whatever. Yeah. For me, I've always been really drawn. I'm the same way with you. I'm obsessed with syntax. I love word structure of a joke, and the king to me is Norm Macdonald. Are you a Norm Macdonald fan? Oh my
God,
he is like I'm I've been obsessed with him since high school, and it's just the ability to pull out a weird word at the right spot in the middle of basic words, or
and looks so normal while he does it.
The looks
the
and
deadpan
the
on that man's face never
just
shifts.
The master. So I bring that up to say, and like my other guys, when I fell in love with stand-up comedy through my dad, who would play me stand-up jokes and take me to stand-up shows when I was a kid. I didn't realize until like high school that was why I wanted to become a comedian. And one of the earliest dudes was Brian Regan. Do you know Brian Regan? You would love Brian Regan. And he was famous for being a family clean comic. But he just had this ability to he just does like dumb guy voice, and it's the funniest thing in the world. And like I think that was off air, but like I realized like you got to play dumb to make a room full of people want to like you. You can't make a room full of people like you if you're trying to be the smartest person in the room, unless you really, really are an absolute genius, which I'm not. So for me, this is a long-winded way to say, I'm never trying to get on stage and do Norm Macdonald or do Brian Regan or any of the comics that I like, but definitely they're so embedded in my brain that when I write a joke and I go back and look at it, I can see exactly where Norm came through. Where lately, and something, do you watch I Think You Should Leave?
Do I?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Well, I think Tim Robinson is defining
my
this
God.
generation. Every other
so
comedian
right.
that I see, I'm like, they're doing Tim Robinson,
Yeah.
which is not an original thought by me. Other people have noticed that, but it's just like, holy shit, this is Tim Robinson.
Yeah.
So I know this isn't really an answer to your question, because I don't have, like, I don't know my voice yet. I'm still doing an amalgamation of the comics that I really like. And I just think the most important thing is saying something that like you're not going to regret. Take risks, take swings, but you don't want to say something on a podcast or on stage that like you wouldn't want to stand by in some way later, Even if the joke doesn't work, you want to be like, well, this is why I felt good taking that swing.
Yeah.
Again, this isn't answering your question. But
the explanation.
The most important thing to me is authenticity. Say something that you really make, like that you actually think is funny. You're going to want to try to play to a room, which is important. Don't do if you're going to a show that is all families, don't, talk about jerking off and, doing drugs. Yeah. Know your audience, but like, it's just, I think my favorite comedy is somewhere between storytelling and just nonstop jokes. I'm obsessed with watching comedians. Brad Wenzel is a Michigan guy that just fires off jokes. He has an hour-long special, and it's just all jokes. Yeah. He leaves you space to laugh, and then as soon as the laugh is done, next setup punchline. And I'm obsessed with that kind of stuff, but I can't do it. That's not the presence I have on stage, because I'm just kind of like, I'm like kind of a...
Could I get a little creative with my terminology here?
Yeah.
Comedy is such... linguistically, it's such an art that you can either be like a painter, a sculptor, or a builder. It's like if you're a painter and you're painting these jokes out, it's like the elements are fluid, they're cohesive, they're together, they're almost kind of watery. When I think of that, I think of people like John Mulaney.
Yeah.
Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh. Like sometimes he can be a bit of a sculptor.
It's like, sorry, go ahead.
But no, all good. It's just like the way that they tell their jokes is so fluid. It's like it's in their voice, it's in their body, it's in the words that they're saying, and it's all happening at the same time. Where someone like Norm Macdonald is such a builder, where it's like he's laying out these points that are so deadpan, and he knows by the end you're gonna get it because he built them.
And we're gonna go, around 3 loops, past a windmill, under a bridge, through a tunnel before we get to the punchline.
Yes.
But when you get to that punchline, it's gonna just fucking rock you.
Yeah.
And hang on and enjoy the journey. What I wanted to say, like what I love about Mulaney, especially, I like Maniscalco. I like him. Mulaney, every word, like. Every word has its place, right? That's such a big thing in writing and especially in comedy. But like I love, and Mulaney is one of the best at it, where like every word has its purpose, but like you don't even really notice it while he's talking, because it seems like he's telling. Like John Mulaney has a cadence to me of a storytelling comedian, at least in his latest special. I think I would go back and say that's definitely not the case with the early ones. Those are very much ba-da-da-ba-da-da-ba-da-da, we're getting these jokes off. But like Baby J, you watched Baby J.
Big time.
You liked it?
I did like it.
I liked it a lot.
Really liked it.
And because it felt like real Mulaney,
It was so truthful and so like whether you think he's likable or not, to put your pants on.
It's my human experience.
And go do that.
Yeah.
Fuck it up. And the fact that his son is going to be able to watch that and be like, my dad was at his lowest at that point, and at that
Here
point
we
in
are
my life,
now.
I have that to watch. Like wherever he ends up is where he's going to end up. But as of right now, he's made a lot of the right choices coming out of a bunch of wrong choices.
Yeah, so cool.
That's commendable.
And he just had this way. He's so good at making you think like you're listening to a story that doesn't necessarily have a structure, and then this punchline comes up and you realize you have been listening to setup, and you thought it was just a story. And maybe that sounds stupid.
You've been listening to his life.
Yeah, it's so cool. And I think that comes from having life to live, And there's such a weird period before, like, before a comedian. Did you watch Chris Rock's new special?
I haven't watched the new one, no.
Don't watch it.
Don't.
It's not good.
Okay.
There's, I don't know what it is. These heroes from the past hit like 55 and fall. I mean, I guess I know what it is. They've made more money than God, and their fan base is different than when they were. Their fan base isn't 20-year-olds anymore.
Yeah.
And so then they get pissed and bitter, and we can't say anything anymore. Cancel culture is ridiculous.
Especially when they built their careers on being edgy. Like Eddie Murphy.
What are we doing?
Even Eddie Murphy's I'm going to take a step back.
Yeah. And it's like, and I at least commend Eddie Murphy. Yeah, those 80s specials do not age well. But it's like, he hasn't put out a special where he comes out and is like, you can't say anything anymore, right? Am I wrong? Did I miss that?
Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah, it's like at least I can commend Eddie Murphy for not, I don't know, this weird lash out. I hate
He took a good turn and stayed where
he should be as an A-list celebrity.
As Chris Rock trying to cross and say something about, well, it's like, dude, you had your moment.
He said the biggest drug in America is attention. And it's just like, yeah, what a profound point, Chris Rock. And I keep seeing specials for the new ads for the new Rob Schneider on Fox Nation special, and it's just truly some of the worst looking things
I think it's just
I've
the
ever seen.
grown-up guys.
Yeah. But Sandler is still great.
Sandler's great. I'm a
Spade
big
put
David
out
Spade
Spade's
fan,
latest special. I didn't
say.
love, but was at least like jokes for an hour. I was like, at least this is still comedy.
You know what I think would make Ellen DeGeneres have a comeback is doing a movie with David Spade where they play twins. I think that would actually make her likable again.
That must have been pitched before, right?
Has to.
Must have been
If
pitched.
not by one of them, will be by me.
We'll get out there and do it. Yeah, that's interesting. What? Anything else you want to say on the histrionics of comedy?
I think definitely the comeback is something that creatives love to do. It's like I had a very comeback. Particular perspective on the zeitgeist of this particular time, and to be able to come back and do it again in a completely different way. It's like, it's hard to do over and over and over again, but that's also like the careers that people choose, and sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. But like, I can't think of anyone other than like Sex and the City is trying to do it.
Yeah. Did you watch any of the?
No,
yeah, I didn't.
Not at all.
I didn't watch the original either.
And like iCarly's trying to do it.
Oh, I did watch a couple episodes of that. Did you watch any of that?
Are they trying to get iCarly and Freddie together again?
Dude, it's like literally the premise is like Carly has sex now.
You know
like,
what
whoa,
I think they
dude,
should have fucking done? Zoom in on Jerry Trainer, a comedian of a generation.
One of the
that
best
man is
comic
sexy
actors
as
of our
hell.
time. Is he?
I think so. Considering like how Spencer Shea, like Crazy Steve, like all these fucking
What awesome roles he had.
He set the tone for Nickelodeon level comedy.
I think
That's
you're
crazy.
right. I think you're right. Yeah, and he still is the funniest part of the I think I watched 3 episodes of the reboot, and he's still the funniest part, but it's just, I mean, I guess I don't know what my thoughts are on it. Yeah. I'm kind of glad that it exists, though. Is that weird? I'm kind of glad that it exists. I don't think I should be, but I kind of am.
This is like part of the COVID like timeline switch. I think
we're in the wrong universe.
We are just in a different universe where it's like all of these crazy ideas that used to be like, oh, that'd be so weird if that existed. It's like, COVID happened. And
now you have adult iCarly.
Literally. COVID happened and they were like, oh yeah, these crazy fucking ideas, people are going to spend money on them, no matter how dumb they might be. If we bring them back, even if it's not good, just the nostalgia factor of it exists and you can watch it.
It's going to make our money back.
It's going to make us money, exactly.
It's weird that
and if that's what art is now, fucking Jesus Christ, we're fucked.
Speak for yourself, dude. I'll sell out so fucking fast.
Dude, dude.
I'll do whatever I have to.
That's true.
All right, let's get to us.
Brother.
Sister. So, Jake Primack. Go watch the Jake Primack episode.
We love you, Jake Primack.
Huge
What a G.
Huge
What a
shout
J.
out to big dog, big homie Jake Primack. And he I believe he wrote this sketch originally in our sketch group, Open Stomach Global. And we had already greenlit so many sketches that his did get greenlit, but we didn't have time to make it. And then I believe the following semester he was like, I'm gonna do it on my own. Solo dolo.
Yeah.
And so when and how were you tapped for that? Because like, had you worked together before that?
Yes. We met on Darlings.
On Darlings.
And that's also where I met Jesse.
Krugel. Wow, what a set.
Yeah. That was really fucking
Were you acting?
cool.
You were acting on Darlings.
I was acting.
Right, I've seen that poster.
I was Evelyn. And that was also Alyssa Milani as my sister and Diego Rodriguez as her boyfriend.
Cool.
Who now the two of them are literally two of my dearest friends from
sick.
U of M now. And Jake was on it. And we just hit it off. He's this silly guy who loves comedy and started making movies.
Dude.
The impressions.
We had Jake do. I ended the Jake show with him ripping off impressions, and we're gonna do the same thing at the end of this one.
Oh, fuck.
You better get your best ones ready.
We'll see.
No, I'm not gonna let you leave until you do it.
Okay.
So he just says, "Hey, I've got this sketch. Need a lead. Are you interested?"
Yeah.
Cool. And you read the script, and you were like, "Holy shit."
Yeah. Well, first he said, "Have you ever seen
Citizen Kane?"
Citizen Kane, and I was like, "Fucking no."
I'm not a film nerd, dude.
And he was like, "Well, here's what the ending of Citizen Kane is.
Yeah,
she's really angry. She's really fun. You want money from your dying dad.
Yeah.
Do you want to come in and do it?
Yeah.
We're gonna film it at Mitchell's house, which is exactly where we filmed Darlings. Who Mitchell is the guy who played my grandfather and the director of Darlings, writer of Darlings, and then you." You were the third and final puzzle piece.
Unfortunately,
of the family.
My memory is just like absolutely awful. So I don't remember the exact series of events, but I'm sure it was pretty simple because at the time, me and Primack were in a groove making stuff. So whenever he would hit me with a role, it was just like, yeah, I'll do it. So I was familiar with Rosebud and familiar with Citizen Kane. But I knew very few people on that set actually, because I knew Jake obviously, and I knew Ariel Berman, who was I think doing cam op on that set. And
I was half asleep for the entire filming.
Well,
I will say.
We're gonna get
Speaking of remembering and not remembering,
right, we're gonna get into the actual set life. But otherwise, like, I didn't know Jesse Krugel at the time. Me and Jesse were not close, but it was March Madness, so like I had games on, and Jesse would be like watching them. But
what
they
a
were
character to get to know him through,
dude. Right?
The shirtless
nurse. Please go watch Rosebud. Please, it's on YouTube, right?
What's the book he's reading?
Isn't it one of like the Owl Guardians books? Am I misremembering?
No, it's like a.
Is it a literary classic?
I think so. I think it's like
Anna Karenina or something.
I don't know. We'll watch it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll splice it in. No, go watch it. Go watch Rosebud. It's publicly available.
Yeah.
And so all I'm told is dress like as adult as you can, and Mackenzie Mollison is gonna play your brother, and Mitchell Sally is gonna play your grandpa.
Your sister.
Sorry, you're gonna play Mackenzie's brother.
No, it's okay, bro. That's fine,
bro. It's good. And Mitchell's gonna be your grandpa, and Jesse's gonna be the hospice nurse. And I said, "Cool. I don't know any of those people. I don't know who those people are." And he said, "Oh, they're great," and they were great. But I show up to set. It's leap year day.
Yes.
Or not. It's daylight savings day.
Yes.
Leaping forward.
Yes.
Leaping forward. So, what time do we shoot? Started around 8 p.m. Does that sound about right? And that's like a late start time.
Crew got there at 7. Yeah. We got there at 8.
Talent got there at 8. And I remember showing up. It was busy in that house, and I was like, cool. I set my laptop up. I put some games on. There were a couple of people that wanted to watch games. Tried to talk to some of the PAs. They did not want to talk to me. I'm friends with a couple of them now. At the time, they weren't too interested in talking to me.
That's crazy.
And then I hit my vape.
We both did.
I was very inconsiderate. Well, okay. So I'm saying this.
Were you? It was like midnight probably when you first hit the vape.
Here's the thing.
You waited a long time because I remember I waited a long time.
Here, the thing is, I was a guest in someone's like grandparents' home, right, or someone's aunt and uncle's home. I was a guest. I was a guest in somebody's house who wasn't there.
Yes.
So I need to adhere to the rules at place there. Mm-hmm. I'm also hopelessly addicted to a couple drugs. So you know, you get 3 hours into a shoot and you start getting a little. And I don't want to be, the last thing I want to be on set is irritable, because
and when you're with your friends who you love,
especially to them, yeah, or my family.
Like, yes.
And I pride myself on being a guy, being an energy guy on set, because I know, you know, because I've worked with real actors before, and I can't act like them, and I can't bring a tech. Like I don't have a good eye with a camera. I can run sound, I guess, but like the most valuable thing I can do is keep morale high on set. And hard to do that when you're having nicotine withdrawals. Mm-hmm. So I have a mint breeze, and dude, I've been like, I grew up. I hope my mom doesn't listen to this episode, because like I grew up like vaping in school and like in the cafeteria.
I went to the bathroom every hour on the hour.
Well, dude, yeah, that. But then like we got to the point like by seniors, we would just like be in class or like in the cafeteria, just zeroing it. So I was like, I have this mint vape, dude. I can rip this, have minimal smoke, exit.
Just down the shirt.
Yeah, and it'll be fine, dude. And I don't know if Mitchell was like scouting me out, dude, but like literally as soon as it hit my lips, dude, Mitchell was like, yo man, can you take that outside, dude? This is not even my house. And I was like, oh fuck, dude. It halted activity. Like everyone was like, and Jake was like, yeah, fucking nice work, Hunter, dude. Really, you got a fucking vape on set. Thanks a lot. And I was like, oh my God, dude. No. Fuck, dude.
Hey, okay, here's the thing.
And then, like an hour later, there's a break between scenes, and we're like laying on the floor.
Yes,
and I look over at you, dude, and I see you vaping, and I'm like, oh, Mackenzie's vaping, dude. And I'm like, Mackenzie's vaping. Mitchell either doesn't see her, is not saying anything. And then I'm like, I'm gonna fucking. And then while I'm doing this, I hear Mitchell go, Mackenzie,
no. No.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
sorry. You got the, hey bro, can you put that away? Like you got that energy. You know what I got?
Well, because you knew Mitchell.
I knew him from the previous project. Mm-hmm. I was the lead in his directorial debut. Like
Mitchell was being nice to me.
Very nice to you. We had a very serious relationship during that first filming project. Yeah. And so I got a scolding.
Yeah, I do.
I literally got a Mackenzie.
And it was late by that point, dude.
Like, it was 12:30. I was like, bitch, not bitch. Like, I love him. But like, I was like,
at the moment, it was.
I need to stay awake.
Dude, I saw the look that you had after everything had stopped. I was like, oh.
Because I had just gotten back from my spring break trip. Literally that day. Because we started.
So you're jet lagged and shit.
I was jet lagged as fuck from Puerto Rico.
Oh my God.
I come in the morning, which I was so lucky to even go in the first place. But I come in the morning.
Well, after a whole day of traveling, yeah, you were lucky to travel. But it's just no lie that a full day of traveling is just exhausting and kind of sucks.
And after 4.5 hours, I'm going to hit my vape once. And it's
it was like, and dude, and I was like, I had to be, because Mitchell is a great guy. I've only really talked to
he's
him
wonderful, but he's so professional. He's so professional.
And so
it's admirable, but it was also like in the moment, it was like, oh yeah, I got to be really, really professional right now, even at 1 o'clock in the morning, filming a comedy sketch for Jake Primack.
And it was at a point where like we were starting to run a little behind in set or on schedule. Tensions were they weren't high, but they were starting to tighten up a little bit.
Had the snow
Everyone
globe
could feel
broken
it.
yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
The mercury thermometer had not broken yet. I thought it was a snow globe too. The snow globe is I think we just broke the thermometer that was in his mouth. But I think the snow globe stayed intact.
Gotcha.
But that was scarier because they were like, there could be mercury.
But maybe they told us they broke the snow globe so we didn't freak the fuck out about the mercury.
No, maybe.
Because I genuinely, for that whole time, I thought it was the snow globe that broke.
I think we did say that. You're right.
Holy
my memory from this day is not great.
Should we get tested for mercury poisoning?
We weren't there that long.
Oh my god.
Fuck, where was I at?
Sorry.
No.
We had just gotten scolded for vaping.
Yes, I was. So tension's getting higher, behind schedule. Everybody's tired. Nicotine withdrawals. I'm so close to being like, Mitchell, you know the mint breeze smell is not going to be in this fucking room when your aunt and uncle get back. Like, I wouldn't have said fucking, but I was like very close to saying that with a very smart ass tone. And then I was like, I'm just going to go outside and vape.
Yeah, as you should.
Yeah, that was all. I do just have good like that was a stressful time on set, but I have good memories. Like watching our phones turn from like 1:59 to 3. Like it was kind of fun. It was like we were delirious at the time, but it was fun.
Despite the fact that we were promised, you'll be home by 4, just to be home by 5:30.
That's the joys of student filmmaking. But at
least we were in a home.
That is true,
I was
dude. Being in
very
a college
grateful
house
for.
would have been way worse.
The fact that I got to, because I was asleep.
I mean, there's a cute little dog there.
I was, yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Phoebe, I think was the name.
Charlie's getting involved.
Hi, little love. I was so grateful being as jet lagged as I was because I passed the fuck out. I was asleep.
Yeah, I remember that.
In a daze, like in half REM. For a third of that process.
And we were just yelling at each other, dude.
And I had to be angry. Like, you had to cry.
So many times.
I had to lunge his throat, literally come for his neck. And then the doctor, all he had to do was stand
Jesse
there
had to, like, be
go,
annoyed.
in the stethoscope. Do you know that? There are a couple really solid clips.
Dude. Yeah,
and my favorite improv moment, like not just for myself, but just like seeing Jesse.
Oh, dude, yeah, Will Wang. Shout out to Will Wang. When you said doctor, dude, I forgot that Will Wang was the fucking doctor. Shout out.
Was so funny.
Perfect. You heard the story of how he got cast, right?
No.
He's a computer science major. Had never had anything to do with film before or since, and was working on coding homework in the union and saw that there were like auditions for a comedy sketch, and he was like, you know what? I'll come out for a comedy sketch. And then didn't he kill the doctor, dude?
He was a star.
So good. And I've seen Will like once or twice since then. Good guy. I hope he listens. I'm sure he's probably not. But I think he's stuck with computer science, which he was like,
send him the link.
Dude, I drove him home after that, and he was like, I think like I kind of want to just like switch out of comp sci and like just do sketch comedy. And I was like, yo. And I was like, that's the most awesome thing I've ever heard. But like, you probably shouldn't. I think that's what I told him. I was like, I would love to have you. Like, I'd love to work with you again. But like, you probably shouldn't.
Man.
But he was a good guy. I think that pretty much covers Rosebud, right?
Good process. It was fun.
It was fun.
Silly sketch.
I just remember like when I met you, just laughing like, who in their right minds would believe that we're biological siblings?
My God.
Like, really, we could not look much more different.
But hey,
it played though.
It played very well.
Good times.
And if Mitchell Sally is the one connecting us,
our paternal grandfather.
Paternal.
Oh man, shout out Mitchell.
Shout out Mitchell.
Shout out Jake.
Big time. Shout out Will.
Shout out Will fucking Wang. Dude.
And Jesse Krugel.
Yeah, fuck Jesse Krugel.
You shortlist nurse, you.
Fuck that.
Love you. Those purple scrubs.
You take off that purple shirt, dude, and his chest would be so red. He's definitely gonna listen to this.
Where is your shirt?
Let's move forward. Let's keep pushing forward.
Charge the mountain.
Forward! No charge!
Left.
I wish I had more sound effects. Do you want to hear any cool ones?
I would love to.
And this one's kind of fun. I can do
this. So it's like I'm in a documentary and I don't want my identity known. They were really mean to me at work.
This one is for the boys in the
I'm sorry, it doesn't work for you.
I was gonna start rapping super bass. I'm so excited.
Okay. Let me refocus.
Vape break. Can I tell you something? I will never say no to a vape, despite the fact that I am indeed iron deficient. And these will make me
No, there's
so
metal in there,
sick.
dude. It's actually upping the iron in your blood every time you hit that.
I know. No, it's actually really good for me.
Okay. Rosebud raps. We don't really see much of each other for a while.
Nope. Because I assume I'm going to graduate, even though I'm not ready.
Was it like okay.
It was like
Do
a
you
month
wanna talk
before.
about what happened?
Like, there's not much that happened.
It was just like, I got to do another year.
It was just like, I'm not ready. I haven't really been in the mindset to graduate. I don't know why I'm pretending like I am. I'm going to go talk to somebody about it.
Nice.
Which is something that people in my program don't do very often.
But it's a really good thing to do.
Because we don't have a lot of people to talk to directly, like for us and what we do, because we all do different shit
So many
all the
different
time.
things, yeah.
But I was really, really lucky through COVID to get in touch with a couple professors who like kicked it into high gear once I came back for my 5th year. And it was like, oh, I get to do all the shit I want to do.
Cool.
Let's go.
Well, we are like so glad that you came back for 5th year.
Me too.
Because we'll skip forward about, I don't know, 8 months.
Yeah.
Winter break.
December.
Jake had just finished an independent study. I was building out my schedule for my last semester. Also not ready to graduate, but like didn't want to stay. Just like it felt like, I mean, I love Ann Arbor dearly. And I did feel like we had a year plus kind of robbed from us, mostly just because of football games.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Just sucked.
That actually, the fact that we were going to have to pay full price for tickets for like that less of a year.
I know. We should get 1 year of student price tickets, right?
That's a great idea.
That'd be cool. Never going to happen.
Write a letter to Santa.
Dude, wait, that's kind of fun, dude. It's writing a letter to Santa. I didn't pick up on that the first time. Okay. I needed 3 credits left to get the fuck out of here. And I was looking through this course catalog and I was like, this shit looks, I don't want to do any of this. And I was like, well, Jake just did an independent study. I would like to do I love independent study. I did those in high school all the time.
Yeah.
Just let me make videos for credit. And I was like, well, I could do that again, but I can't. Up to that point, pretty much every endeavor that I had taken up and tried to head usually ended up failing pretty hard.
Wow.
Which is, I'm glad that they, you need learning experiences, and I did learn.
Totally.
But I needed it. I wanted this to be good. Jake obviously wanted it to be good. So we teamed up, and we, over the course of a couple weeks, I'm not going to get too much into the pre-production aspect because we've talked about it. We cranked the script out, and the whole time, like writing this character, we were like, I think it might have even been an unspoken, I think after we finished, I was like, yo, is Mackenzie around? And Jake was like, yeah, I had her in mind. And I was like, yeah, this whole time reading it, I was like, well, this is Mackenzie.
Dude.
And that's in part because you're an incredibly talented actor and we love working with you, and in part because we don't know any women.
No, you don't know how to talk to any of them. They're around. They're everywhere.
You know them?
Oh, Hunter, you've got eyes, buddy.
No, it was the first part.
It was an honor to get that call because you guys were just the shit-eating grins that I saw when I answered, and you guys were like,
"Hey, Mackenzie,
we have a script,"
because we were like, and we were like,
yes.
we just like we were like, because before that call, we were like, okay, well, if this doesn't work out, who else will we have? And then we were like, thought of like 1 or 2 people that weren't even really actors, and we were like, Let's just hope she's available and this call goes well. And so we did a table read of the, like, it was just a few scenes.
Yeah.
Just whatever we had written so far. And it was on Zoom. And, you know, open and shut. We loved the read. And then, you know, is there anything, I feel like it was kind of quiet from that point until production. Was there anything that you remembered? Like, we sent you, like, a lot of stuff changed in the script, and I think we were sending you
I
the
think
revisions.
it was just like a lot of texting Jake, just being like, hey,
What's
I'm
up?
excited.
Yeah.
What's the vibe of
Yeah.
this? Like, I don't really care exactly what the script is going to say, because I know that once the script is printed, like, because Jake knows that I'm a writer.
Yeah.
And he told me,
Well, yeah, we wanted you to make it natural.
Exactly. And when he was like, we have you in mind, this is the baseline of the script, this is the plot, this is what's happening in terms of her reaction and whatever you want to do for her, like, let's work together on that. And I'm not saying I'm an actress who's had lots of this before, where it's like, oh, a director's letting me take control. But it's like, no, it was very cool to have
right?
that for, like, I've only done extensively Darlings.
Yeah.
That was it, in terms of showing up day in, day out over the course of a couple of weeks and playing this one singular character for this full film. And Violet, she's pretty much in almost every scene. It was like, this is very cool that I get to create this again. But again, like, the Darlings process was so professional, so spick and span, and so, like, again, I had a lot of freedom. But in this, it was so different, where it was like, no, we're just showing up and making stuff. And yes, it's going to be good. But that was a senior thesis. This was like an independent study of something you guys just threw together, wrote, and were like, let's see what we can make. That adrenaline and excitement was what was charging this. That was different.
Okay. Did you like a vibe of one more than the other? Of a work, like, just an environment to work in? Is there one that's more appealing to you?
Here's the thing about the first showing up for Darlings and having it be my first time doing that at all.
Daunting.
It was like, oh, I'm so glad that everything is spick and span. All I got to do is show up and do my job, and it's going to be good no matter what. By the second time, and hopefully,
thankfully, you were a little more seasoned by the time you got to leave.
But it's like, no, but by the time I got there, it was like, they've already told me I was the inspiration for this. I already know that they want me here. I already know that they're going to be so open-minded if I come in and I'm like, hey, I really don't want this.
Yeah.
I really think this is something, like, the fact that was all open and a part of it from the get-go, that was,
that's
what
one
made
thing
it super
that
exciting,
I love
and
about
that's
working,
what I love
about working with Jake is, you know, he's strong personality and very assertive, but he's not married to anything.
He's the most flexible.
And if you can back up your points about why you think it's not working, he's always receptive to being like, all right, let's change. Let's try it.
My impression of Jake Primack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Just like this long stare to nothing.
Thinking about it, yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
It always ends positively, but it's like his brain works.
I know. And he has the visualize that I've never had. I just can't, you know, I like to think that I'm good with story and I'm a fine performer, but I've never been, he can see it.
Hands-on.
He can see it. Like, before he gets there, while he's doing it, he can just see where everything's supposed to be, which I'm I'm always impressed by that. He has the eye. But we talked about on his episode, the perspective of working on film from the writer's standpoint, from him, the director's standpoint, and me from like a producer's standpoint running around. But for, like, you know, I thought for sure the most pressure was on you and Tony. When shooting on film. And we talked, it's just, you have to, like, when you shoot,
Tony number one.
There was
Tony number one.
Yeah, so there was
I had a lot more creative control than Tony. Tony
Yeah.
was showing up for his son. I was showing up for my friends who had already written something for me. Obviously, he had his dad in mind for that character. But
that's so
also it's working with your family. Like, that's insane.
I had a lot of pushback against bringing Tony on to the project to play Simon, because I trusted that he could do a good job. I was worried about the dynamic of having Jake work with his dad. I was just nervous about it, not because I didn't trust either of them, but just because I didn't want that. I didn't want it to be weird for that. Like more like I trusted them enough that it, like nothing would happen that would, sabotage the set. But that can be a very weird thing when you bring your dad into your world to fucking get in and do it, especially with knowing how particular Jake can be with his things, and especially with knowing how much money and time and how much expectations he had put into it. I was worried that something might happen that would like cause him to be mad at his dad for that. Ultimately, that didn't happen. Yeah. It was awesome. It was great. And I'm so glad that we did decide to go with Tony. Because
that's completely valid.
It wouldn't have,
especially on a time crunch,
dude. There was no room for reshoots, time wise or money wise, and that was the thing. He was driving in from Detroit, and it worked, and I'm so glad that it worked. But I was just very nervous about it. I was nervous about a lot of things. We had never shot on. Nobody really shoots on film.
Yeah.
It's coming back now. Hopefully. I just saw Paul, the film room equipment wizard, said he just the camera that we used. He just brought it back, did some remodifications for it, so they're hoping to get some more film projects.
Awesome.
Inspired by LATENT. But it was just we were all very, very nervous. We wanted, and for me, and this is why I'm so glad we had the team of me, Jake, and Jesse, because we were all singularly dedicated to a different aspect. I think we all cared about all of the aspects, but like Jake was like dedicated to making this be the best project that it could be, which was like, I was like, Jake, you need to direct this, not co-direct it with me. You need to direct this. And then me and Jesse will try to put out fires everywhere else so you can focus on this. Jesse was determined on bringing us in under budget or at budget, which was, we spent thousands of dollars and we were like, we didn't have $1 to spare on grants and stuff. And then I was really just wanted everyone to have a fun learning experience on set. That was my mission, was to make sure, because these were long days. These were like, they could have been 12-hour days, and you're sacrificing your weekends. You're sacrificing your whole weekends for a month. And I wanted people to be
Quad basement
in a windowless room. And I wanted people to, have a happy experience about it. And the great Hannah Dando was
Queen.
Like literally, dude.
My gosh.
That was my first time meeting Hannah, was that project.
Thank God for her.
So she was keeping us on schedule, and like, what a superhero Hannah Dando is. And within minutes of meeting her,
keep you three on schedule.
literally nearly impossible, right?
Like,
oh my
cats.
God. Oh my God. And she was like, I love this shit. Like, I love spreadsheets and like organization. And I was like, you're so important. Please don't quit this project.
Yeah.
But I think it ultimately, so yeah, I'm going to shut up in a second and let you talk about your experience. But
you're the writer and producer. You have a lot. This was your
the
project.
Thing is, we already talked about it on an episode.
That's all good. I want to.
Yeah, I do want you to hear about my my point of view from it, because I'm very fascinated to hear about yours.
Episode isn't even out yet for me.
That's true.
I want to hear.
You couldn't know about it. Oh shit! Sorry.
Your dog is so cute.
Thank you for chilling out. An asshole. Princess. So yeah, that is just to say, the reason that people don't shoot on film is because when you shoot, what 90% of people do these days is they shoot on a digital camera, which has an SD card, which means when you finish a shot, you can both, play it back immediately and see how it looks. And also, if it's really bad, you can just delete it right there, and you can have that, those minutes back. You don't have that luxury with film. If you fuck up, you just wasted $20 or whatever. Yeah. So that meant that so much rehearsal off camera, and it meant that, like, you felt really bad if you fucked up a take. So,
Yeah.
with all that said,
Yeah.
let's talk about what it was like being the lead on a shot on 16 millimeter student short film.
Gosh,
What was your first impression walking onto set?
I was nervous just because I didn't know exactly what to expect, and not because it was my first time,
Right.
but just because it was like,
You.
This is like, all right, whatever I do is going to be what it is, and everyone is showing up here to
See what you do.
to manage what I do.
Yeah.
That's really amazing and cool, but also fuck.
The scariest thing
Like,
maybe imaginable.
there were some tears in the bathroom, I will say. There was some anxiety, for sure. I think there was, like, I'm not going to say stress because it wasn't isolated stress, but it was whatever was generated from exhaustion and everything, all of the elements of my senior year that was happening at the exact same time as filming this. And I am so grateful that I had this project to like zone me in creatively and give me like something to really like channel and do for the first time and give me a little bit of power in what I'm doing. And I think I just think I got really overwhelmed this year with work. I think I do a really good job of analyzing my balance of like all of the things that I need to have balanced, and then executing that like once it's in motion is where I struggle.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I know I need this, and this to show up for Latent and be a holistic person. I get that. No, that's in my brain. I understand that.
Yeah. I'm not ignorant of that, dude. I know.
No, guys, I'm not an idiot, okay? I'm choosing to do this. I barreled through this year.
Yeah.
And not because of Latent, because I wanted to do Latent. I wanted to do it.
But I think we all did.
Yeah.
And that's why, like,
that was the vibe, kind of. Even within the fun, it was also like, no, just the underlying, as much fun as you can ensure as you took on, and as much fun as people could just bring and let in. I think the passion did kind of come from the nerves of, we really want to do this.
And I think I like to think
There's
that
nothing wrong with
everyone
that.
on that set was like, we are doing something cool, right?
Yeah.
Did you get that vibe?
I did. The first day with those red lights.
Yeah, dude, wasn't that fun?
Ironically, it was the day that the shots, like all of the footage was
unusable,
trashed.
dude. Like $200
all
of unusable
overexposed.
footage. Yeah.
Not good. Ended up getting cut.
Yeah.
But the vibe of the first day
So
was
cool.
something else.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Dude, like they built a set for us. That was like, it was like, whoa, we're making it. That was like, I've had, pockets of being like, well, I love making videos. Obviously, I think that part got, maybe cut, but I've been doing it forever and I love it. But this was the first sustained period where I was like, whoa, we're making a movie. Like, this is a movie. And I just like that.
You wrote.
And it's just so, I don't know. There was a lot of fun. And I want to just say, like, addressing, we planned for like mishaps and like, forgetting a bag or just like, dude, I'm fucking stressed out. I need to just decompress in the bathroom for 20 minutes. Like, we planned for that. So it was always like, yeah, I don't know. I'm very, it was not a perfect, flawless experience or project, but I'm
If it wouldn't have been good.
Yeah, and I'm just so incredibly grateful for the things we learned and the friends we made along the way. And do you have anything else you want to say on Latent?
Oh,
Other than we love Jake Primack.
we love Jake Primack, and we love his parents.
Yeah, shout out
That
Tony
boy
and Julie.
is amazing because he comes from two amazing
Two
people.
cool people. Yeah.
And speaking of crying in the bathroom, the very last day we were filming like one of the last scenes that needed to be done in one take. And Tony, he wasn't struggling by any means, but like the past like 2 or 3 that we had done right before this happened, he was messing up the line. And I then messed up the very last line.
He got his line.
He got his line down. I messed up the line. But then we rolled through it and then got the last take. And it was like, okay, whoa, we're good. And then 5 minutes later, Hannah comes up to me and she goes, I think you're wearing the clothes for day 2. Yeah. We need you in the clothes for day 3.
Oh, that was yeah, and I remember that, and I remember looking at Jake and being like, do you think it'll play if she's just in those clothes? And Jake was like, no. I was like, fuck.
And it was like equitably, Tony had spent an amount of money on his fuck ups, and I was about to spend. I had just because I didn't change my clothes. It's not even like I fucked up my lines. I had just fucked up one line, and I thought I got through it. I thought I had a save.
That would have been usable, yeah.
But I was just wearing the wrong clothes. So I go to the bathroom and I'm like, oh my God, all these people are gonna, oh my God. And I'm changing and I'm just getting ready.
Also, that's not your fault though.
It wasn't.
There is an aspect where you know, maybe look down and see what
That's exactly so dumb.
But nobody would have pinned that. You know, we had dedicated continuity people on set.
There are also
for that.
people looking at me through the camera lens. It's like, no.
There's 20 people there.
There were totally eyes that could have seen it and just didn't make the registration. That is totally fine. I'm in the bathroom and I'm just having this like little mini meltdown. No, we're going to get through it. We literally have 40 minutes left of filming. We just have to get through this and then we're done. And Jake's mom comes in and she's being the sweetest woman ever. And like the first 30 seconds, I'm like, no, yeah. Like, I'm fine. And then at some point, I'm just like, I am so sorry. I think you're wonderful. I just need to be alone.
Yeah, dude, no, that's the thing.
And she was like, it's okay. But by the time it came out, I was like, I did just have an episode in there. You did walk in and you saw it. Thank you so much for being kind.
Sweet, but like.
Kindest woman, but embarrassed in front of her.
It was fun though, right? You had fun?
I had a ball. I'd do it again.
I don't know if I would.
Really?
I don't know. I felt like I learned. I don't know what lessons I would get again by doing it on film again.
You know? Gotcha.
I love the film look. Sorry, I'm cramping up in my hamstrings so bad right now. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, you should apologize.
Fuck.
Do you want to get up?
No, I'm just gonna stick it straight out.
I could go through a yoga flow with you.
I don't know. I don't know if I would. I mean, if I was
fair,
I wouldn't like as a student. I wouldn't do it again as a student. I would. I think it's a cool thing to do one time as a student when you're at a point where you have enough knowledge to execute it and could learn a lot from it, which is where we all were when we did it. Mm-hmm. If I were to do it again, like if we were to do another Latent right now, we would have those it's just like it would just be more of a headache for me than anything.
Heard.
I would just want to film it on digital.
Yeah. Well, I guess not that the process would be the exact same for me. It'd probably just, I think there was a certain challenge for me, but also being in theater helps a lot. Being like, okay, we got to do it in one take.
Yeah.
Don't
that's
fuck
huge.
it up.
That's huge.
It's like, if anything, that kind of gets my fire going a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
Sink or drown, no safety net. Yeah. I do love that. That's kind of what draws me to stand up.
Again, as a producer, that's not necessarily ideal. That's terrifying. That's a lot of problem solving and fire putting out.
That was most of it. It's like I'm going to long term remember the fun moments. Remember like being out in the hall, throwing the football around with like the PAs and like whoever was not inside. And I'm gonna remember just like floating around and all of the great energy and the cool people on there and making something start to finish with you, Jake, and Jesse. It was just like so awesome, but you know, I don't know. So the film itself was like literally I had watched Maltese Falcon and was like, let's do a neo-noir on film, which is so out of character for me. I'm glad I did it, but it's not something I would necessarily do again. I mostly write stupid comedy sketches and there's no point in shooting those on film.
Yeah.
But if I was at a point like later in my career where I could write something for like a very talented professional team to shoot on film, like fuck yeah, I think it looks so cool.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's a dying medium.
Totally.
And I love saving dying mediums. That's why I buy the newspaper every day.
And
why I started a radio show.
Yes, exactly. Throwing it back. Throwing it back with Hunter Davidson. But even like you just said sketch comedy on film, and that gave me
that got your gears turning?
a niche little idea.
I mean, I think it would be cool. I mean,
Like an artistic
it would look cool.
sketch. Like really like making it like a well-crafted like even animation, not animation, but like incorporating like those artistic elements to make it like almost like a short film with sketch elements.
That is very
make it like an art piece.
That is very interesting. I'll tell you why right now I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it
because I'm not good enough at regular sketch comedy to start like subverting the form, you know? I just think I need to like, I don't, like I've written sketches, but like I still don't have it. Like I hang out with those guys. I've been bleeping their name out on the show. The I Need to Be Held guys. You familiar with Ben and Justin?
Yes.
And
love them.
Love writing in the room with them. It's awesome. And those guys know, they've done so many of them that they know the sketch structure.
Yeah.
And I'm getting to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm seeing like this joke's in the wrong spot. We haven't played up the setup here enough. This runs too long. I'm starting to see that. Mm-hmm. But before I would move to something where I would like, you know, subvert anything, I would want to get really good at the vanilla version too. Totally. Also, the sketch comedy that I love tends to be the simplest, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Most universal as well.
Yeah.
The more specific you get in sketch, the more you lose.
You're losing audience members. Yeah.
Specificity in like what's happening.
Right.
In terms of reference, jokes, language,
yeah, the premise. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Are you a Kyle Mooney fan?
I love Kyle Mooney.
Yeah.
In fact, Bennett.
Yeah. Good Neighbor stuff, dude.
Yes.
That was like. And that's like, and I think
Handshake.
that's also, it's so much. It's, dude, I love, there's one where they move into it. It's called New Roommates, I think.
Yes.
Dude, beer. Yeah. Whoa, this porch is sick.
Larry
it's
David.
Like my favorite ever.
Oh my God. And then he like turns evil.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So good.
Whoa, dude, I thought it was chill. So like, I think we're very much of the internet era of sketch comedy, which is so almost obscenely digital, you know? So many of the jokes are inscribed of like just the digital world that we live in, which I'm, you know, part of me wants to be a traditional comedian and part of me is just like, well, embrace who you are and who's going to relate to you.
If I can take this and just a little left turn. The pacing of internet comedy has cut
attention spans
in half,
almost zero.
And it makes
so
me
annoying.
wonder, is not that slowness has ever been like the key to comedy, but there's a lot of slow paced things that can be really, really funny.
We talked about Norm earlier.
Do you think that's ever going to come back, or do you think our attention spans are shot and we're done for?
That's such a good question. I have a lot of thoughts on that. I've never downloaded TikTok.
Good for you.
Just
That's
because,
big.
but it's because I know I would get addicted to it.
Yeah.
And because I don't know. It's not because they're trying to steal our data or like any, moral high ground reason. It's just like, I am very cognizant of the things I consume. Like I'm on my phone the second I wake up and until I fall to sleep. I'm becoming more aware of that and how like that's almost certainly damaging my brain. Mm-hmm. I am a believer that like the ship always rights, the pendulum always swings back. Mm-hmm. But it's so weird because you're so right. Like you see when you see a kid, like a baby holding an iPad or something, isn't that just it makes you like, oh no.
It doesn't just make you sick. It makes you like
scared,
shudder at the fact that like the future that they told us we don't want that is slowly becoming reality.
An unavoidable reality. Like if you want to function in current society, you got to be jacked in at all times.
Big time.
That is scary, and that does make me think, like, generations of kids moving forward, it's hard to see how their attention span will come back. But I am instilled with hope in the last 2 years by kind of a reemergence of the sitcom, which everyone has been saying will die. Everyone's been saying that it's going to die since like the 70s. And there was a moment after like Parks and Rec and The Office left, it felt like there was like 10 years of just drivel on network sitcoms.
Very true.
And then do you watch Abbott Elementary?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I've seen the first bit of the first season.
Yeah. So that was a show that made it was like, oh shit, wait, they found something here. This is good. And there was like another crop of shows that came back. And also, if anything was going to kill the movie theaters, it was going to be COVID.
Big
and movies and people were saying movies, Quibi came up right before that, right? It was like Quibi's gonna kick out movie theaters, and then Quibi died and movies were like, fuck you, we're the movies.
Yeah.
And so that instills me with the hope that I don't think long form comedy or TV or movies or our performers, I don't think that's gonna die in our lifetime. I do think we're going to continue to see this crazy digital content age continue to boom because everyone's looking at it all the time. The eyes are there. That's where the money is. But maybe it's optimism. I'm trying to be more optimistic. I was a pessimist for the first 17 years of my life and then a nihilist for 2. And now I'm trying to be an optimist.
Yeah.
And so I just think I think it's good to latch on to the diamonds in the rough, the content that breaks through all of the nonstop bullshit. I think that's it's more, it makes me emotional now when I see something. Even did you watch Ted Lasso?
Oh my gosh. So I don't have Apple Plus.
Yeah.
I need to get it though because my professor from Second City was the professor for a lot of people in that writer's room.
Cool.
And I have a very cool story about her. It's not cool. It's actually incredibly sad, but it's cool how it's reflected in Ted Lasso. Whoa. This woman, Anne Libera, started the college comedy studies program at Second City that I went through my summer going into senior year.
So cool.
Her daughter passed away from leukemia at 19. It was devastatingly awful, and this woman had been working at Second City since she was 19. And Nora was the name of her daughter, and she wore a green headscarf all the time during her therapy. And when she lost all her hair, it was just kind of known Nora wears this green headscarf. And I've never seen season 2 of Ted Lasso. I've wanted to, but again, literally with college and time, if I'm going to sit down and watch a show, it's I'm not going to buy a new platform. I'm going to watch Ted Lasso though.
Yeah.
Because apparently the writers wrote in a character named Nora who wears a green headscarf. And there's a lot of characters in that show, and the values that are built into that show are reflected because the writers in that writer's room are so tight and united and aware of the people in their lives that they love and care about in alignment with those values in the show. They incorporate that in the writing. It's in the it's in between the lines of the script
of the show.
Exactly.
That's what I mean. That's the
Jason
show.
Sudeikis knows her and knew that story. And
he's a Second City guy, right?
Yep.
Chicago, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the show is I'm a huge sports fan, so I was season 3. There's mixed reviews on season 3. I think we've talked about whatever. This is the only show I've ever seen that season 1, almost every episode is a strict half-hour sitcom. That is, it follows that almost by the law, and it's amazing. By season 3, after the first 2 episodes, every single episode is an hour-long drama. I've never seen another show. It's still funny, it has funny moments, but the structure over the from season 1 to season 3 is completely different. But one thing that I think is super admirable about it is that like the heart of the show doesn't leave it through the whole thing. And it's very emotional, and I love it a lot. Another one is The Bear on Hulu.
I have heard of it. Yeah.
That one is a good one because you can watch a season in a day.
Oh, sweet.
The first season I think is 8 episodes that are like 20 minutes. The second one's 10 that are 30 minutes. Another show that's just like I love pieces of media that just remind you that's like, dude, you don't have to buy in, because there's also a public dialogue that I think, you know, adds into that feeling of like content is dying, you know, everyone being like, because, you know, we have these thoughts and then we're like, well, yeah, it is. Look at all this shit. So I just think it's really important to like put on a pedestal, you know, the things that are able to cut through that.
And specifically art that unites people.
God, it's so good.
Because oh my gosh.
Makes you feel good.
If you can find a message nowadays that truly unites people, you've got something, baby.
Yeah.
Like you've really got something that is going to change the world, because there is so much separation just in how we get our information. Like even if you were to download TikTok, your feed would be only your feed.
Yeah, right.
And even
that's part of what terrifies me.
Yes. And even part of the hashtags and the talks and the communities of like the separate little worlds that do exist on TikTok, like they're always going to be changing all the time. And some of them are going to die off. Some of them are going to blow up. And it's like, you'll never know which one truly exists anymore.
And in like 2 weeks,
that's crazy.
Nobody was going to even remember it.
Exactly. Like, is that art that you want to keep, which is so admirable about you? It's like, I don't want to download it because I don't want to put that shit in my brain. Yeah. I downloaded it because I just wanted to know what was going on nowadays. Well, but again, you're never really going to know because it's all different.
And I am in part a hypocrite for that being my reasoning, because like I just go on Instagram fucking reels and YouTube shorts and just fucking scroll. I mean, it's the same.
That's filtered through like, people brought this to a different platform for another reason, which doesn't make it any better, but it's also,
I don't know. It all hurts my head.
It really does. I want to cleanse.
We're at an hour and a half of good audio, dude.
Fuck it up.
I'm having a lot of fun. You having fun?
I'm having a ball.
Trying to think of what else we got here.
I do have to tell a really quick story that involves Macy Galler.
That's what I was gonna say. Let's
and LA.
That's awesome. I'm fucking hopefully by the time this comes out, people will know who Macy Galler is.
They're amazing.
They are one of my favorite people. I also met them in LA last summer.
So wild. So you met them in LA for the first time?
Yeah. And then like we hung out for like 2 days and I was like, this person's fucking rad. And then didn't see them again until we were in the same writer's room for 4/11.
Cool.
And had a blast. They're great. We're going to hopefully be neighbors out in LA.
My God. Okay. I'm going to have to make a little
Drop
visit.
in, dude. Drop in. Oh, yeah.
Dropping
you'll be there,
in. Well, Macy, I saw Macy on my very first trip to LA. So I never thought I was going to move to LA. I've been married to New York since like middle school.
I feel like the last time I talked to you, you were like, I'm going to New York.
Yeah. I thought theater was going to be like
stage, dude. You're gonna
the
be
heavier, which I love theater so much. It's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. But starting film and like doing that my senior year kind of set me, just kind of shifted it even a little bit. And then I ended up in LA and I was like, oh, I see why. I see it. And then it's like, I see it. And then it's like, and if a majority of my friends are here, like, cause I did the same thing. I was like, not necessarily actually.
Yeah. It's 50-50
for
really?
me. Wow. It's pretty much exactly 50-50.
Because the stand-up scene in New York is more appealing to me.
Really?
Like, I just think it's more accessible and it seems a little bit more fun to me. But for me, it was like, I don't want to go through it. I want to have a few years without a brutal winter.
Yeah. That's a great.
Like, I think I'm going to miss the seasons, but like, I am pretty excited to just have it be 70. Like, when it gets to like February and all my friends back here are just, fuck.
There's always
send them pictures.
It's just,
yeah.
There's always this like emotional dip.
You do, dude. When the sun's only out for fucking 6 hours every day, you just are upset.
And growing up in Michigan, I think having the water close to me is also important.
Huge.
And I underestimated the importance of having nature in my daily routine.
And you really give that up in New York.
No, it's
like
not.
unless
You
you're
gotta
going to
leave the
Central
city.
Park every day, which like
You
even
can't
Central
do.
Park
Don't
is
do
dirty.
that. Don't go to Central Park
Don't
every
do
day.
that.
You will get attacked.
I'd rather like have the beach and hiking accessible
Mountains and shit.
and still be able to do all of the city stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know. It just from the minute I got there, it was a very good vibe. And the second day that I was there, Beyonce's Renaissance came out. So that was a good sign. And that just whole trip was 8 days of like these unexpected feelings just kind of coming up and being like, I can't fight that. Like, oh, I can't fight that.
I like it. I don't want to fight it.
I really like the beach.
Yeah.
I really like the pace.
yeah,
I
yeah.
really like the weather. I like the vibe here.
There is an energy
a lot
to it.
more than I thought I would. And the craziest part about it is that I show up and Danny Trejo's face is everywhere.
Yeah, Trejo's Tacos.
Trejo is literally the Los Angeles mascot. That guy has Los Angeles around his
He's an
finger.
Angelino, baby. Yeah, through and through.
He's the first celebrity I ever met.
Cool. Where'd you meet Trejo?
As a child, he was filming Harold and Kumar's Christmas 5 minutes away from my house in my home neighborhood.
Yeah, the tax credit was still going in Michigan.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And
Wait, sorry.
we drove by. No, all good.
Are
And
Harold
he-
and Kumar Michigan people?
Oh no, I don't think so. But in the
Continue,
franchise, they were just filming in this normal suburban house, and my mom just drove my brother and I by. She was like, "Let's go see this movie set and see if we can see anything." And we're driving by, and this guy's sitting in one of those chairs in the front lawn, and my brother and I look at each other and we're like,
That's Machete.
"Is that the uncle from Spy Kids?" Holy fuck!
That's awesome. Did you ask him that?
We rolled down the window and we go, "Hi, are you the uncle from Spy Kids?" And he goes, "Yeah, how are you guys? Thanks for coming out." Like, he was the nicest man I've ever met.
That is what I hear about Trejo, is that he's incredibly nice.
Up until that point, I had never seen a famous person.
Right.
And then to come
You were
to
like
LA
8, right?
and be like, "Oh, he's the most famous person here."
I know him.
I know that guy. And he knows me.
Yeah.
But that was just like another very cute little thing. And I was staying with my best friend for 8 days. And the very last night, they gave me an amazing trip. They set up a whole bunch of fun things for me. But the very last night,
Who's they?
Ben Rodenmeyer. They used to be, they were a BFA acting major in the theater school here. They're amazing. They're now working in the entertainment industry out there. And they had a film premiere on the very last night that I was staying with them. So I literally had my last night in LA to myself.
Nice.
So I'm like, fucking like, sure.
Go see
what
what's
a
up.
challenge. Let's see
Yeah.
what's up. I bought a Groundlings ticket.
Nice,
Saw
dude.
a show.
Hell yeah.
It was okay.
Was there anybody that was in the show that's kind of popping now?
I don't think so. I think it was like a Wednesday. I think it was like a kind of a more
Backup
beginner.
troop, yeah.
Yes, very much. And it was super fun, but it was also just kind of like, all right, I guess I'm going to go home. But then I was also playing Bumble, kind of like it was a video game. And
What
I
do you
was
mean?
I wasn't just
Whatever.
just shopping.
Just thinning the
I
herd.
wasn't thinking about doing anything.
Just shopping.
I was just looking.
Window shopping.
Exactly.
It's very funny.
And I was just like nothing's ever going to happen. But I kind of had been messaging this guy who was very cute and seemed very normal. And I didn't think anything was going to come of it, but just kind of out of very quickly after intermission, I am texting and he's like, "Are you in West Hollywood?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm going to come and meet you. Meet me at Laurel Hardware." So we go to this bar.
You did go.
And it's the best first date I've ever been on. It's like I'm not trying to talk about this, but like no, literally, like I'm usually a very like mental person.
Yeah.
Immediately I was like, this is so strange. Like I'm like the
like
fact that
this
I'm
guy.
just meeting him, like he is the one random person that I'm meeting tonight. Like we're hitting it off.
Cool.
And then the next morning, just like, "Hey, great meeting you last night. Like let me know next time you're in LA." And I just think it's kind of cute to respond, "Oh, like great meeting you too. I wouldn't be so upset if my flight got canceled. Then we could go out again." Send.
Flight canceled.
I get to the airport. I'm sitting at my gate. I'm supposed to
take off at 8:30, and at 8:20 they go, flight 79 to Detroit has been canceled. Please go downstairs and get a fucking ticket for a new flight.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, who did that? And I look down to my left and Macy Goller is sitting on the floor of my terminal.
Wait, was this last year or 2 years ago?
This was last year at the beginning of August.
Cool.
So almost exactly a year ago. And we make eye contact and go, what the fuck are you doing here? And they go, what the fuck are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm coming home from vacation. What are you? And they were like, I'm finishing up my internship.
Yeah, that would have been like a month after I met them.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I was like,
how did you know Macy before that?
Macy used to be in my program in the BTAs in the theater school. So they started in my program. I actually don't know where they started. They transferred into my program. They were
at first a history major.
History major, transferred to BTA, then transferred to FTVM. But there was like a year where we were in the same program.
Boolin'. That's sweet.
It was just totally crazy.
That's nice.
And we link up, go downstairs, and talk through the hour-long line to get our new tickets.
Oh my God.
And I don't have a place to stay technically because my friend is at this movie premiere until like 2:30 a.m. Like they are out for the night.
Yeah.
And I just go home with Macy and I wake up on Nicole Winthrop's couch.
Yeah.
And
hell yeah.
oh my gosh. And her, the other girl, I'm forgetting her name. It was
Brooke?
a group. Brooke
Doddridge.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was. I woke up in their house
Yeah.
on their couch, knowing
Awesome.
none of them,
They're sweet though. They're sick.
but they know me.
Yeah. Wait, you got really? Did you black out?
From Darlings.
Oh, whoa. Wait, how did you not remember waking up? Or you just like were disoriented when you woke
Well,
up?
I was disoriented when I woke up.
He's like, "What the fuck am I?"
Well, no, I remembered. I hadn't met them, so we got there super late at night. They had gone to sleep.
Oh, got it.
We had come home from the airport at like 12:30 because our flight was at 8:30, got canceled. We were at the airport for like 3 hours getting our shit together, and then it took us an hour to get there. So it was definitely like we just show up and I sleep on this couch, and then I wake up and there are these girls.
Yeah.
And they all know who I am because they've seen Rosebud and they've seen Darlings, and I'm like, this is really fucking cool.
Yeah. And they're just like, they're so quick to vibe with. It's
They
just like, I
are
get
the
it.
funniest,
So
quick, and like just also open. Like just
say whatever. Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Big fans of them.
Big fans.
I guess I wanted to ask you, do you have one funny Asa Huffaker anecdote that you could, if you
Oh
have
my
any?
gosh. Asa and I met my freshman year in West Quad, Best Quad. And we went out this one night. Oh, it wasn't Welcome Week. It was I think it was the week after Welcome Week. And we had a little group together.
Going out with him is the best.
And we went to a band party, I think.
Well, you know he was a band nerd in high school.
He was?
Yeah.
Well, we went to a marching band party.
Yeah.
And it was the sweatiest house I've ever been to.
Triangle? Was it Triangle frat? Or was it in a...
No,
yeah.
It was South
It's engineering
campus.
frat, my bad.
It was like down by the big house, kind of.
Okay.
Not like by the big house, but
Yeah,
in those little
in that
neighborhoods.
area, yeah.
Yeah, I just remember like booling.
It's so funny, dude. Every time I go out with him, he just like attracts like young women just come up to him and like want to be his friend and like want to touch him. He's like Jesus, dude. It's unbelievable.
He's a beautiful man.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I have a crush on him. He can't know that. He knows that.
Well,
he's one of my dearest friends in the world. Lived with him for a year last year, and then all of a sudden just saw you guys together on a story, and I was like, what the fuck?
I'm sad.
And
that
I went
you
up to
weren't
Asa. I was
there.
like, you know that like I've like kind of become close with Mackenzie. Like I've known Mackenzie now
Kind
for
of.
like a year and a half. Well, yeah.
Hell yeah.
But like, and it was. I know. I wish we all got to hang out
Well,
one day, maybe.
man, and Asa will be in LA.
Yeah, I know.
He'll
I'm
come to
like,
LA.
dude, you're coming out, and he's like,
He has to.
I'm like, dude, you're coming out. He's,
No, but I know him through my friend Charlie as well.
oh my god.
And I don't know if you know Charlie.
Oh, I know Charlie. Absolute character.
Went out with him on my birthday this year. It was the best.
They're funny, dude. Asa always introduces me to these characters, and I'm just like, oh, you're one of the
They
funniest
are.
person I've ever met. You ever meet Jackson?
No. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but I
Yeah.
know of Jackson for sure. Did you ever meet Cole? Engineer.
Oh, wait.
Eden.
Cole Eden?
Cole or Eden. Two different people.
Oh, did Cole go to high school with him?
No.
Oh, then
Never
no,
mind.
never met him.
All good. But that was a
Well,
whole freshman group. That's so
It's
wild.
cool, dude. Yeah, small world, right?
Man.
Do you want to rip any impressions? I don't want to make sure if you don't want to. But if you wanted to give us Dora or Target Lady or
Oh my gosh. I could do some Target Lady.
only if you want to.
Um
the crowd will love it.
Yay! Gift cards! I have an adult dollhouse, and sometimes I use these as bath mats.
I could also do Barbie.
I love Target Lady, dude. Wait, what's
She was
Barbie?
She was oh. I'm Barbie.
Oh, whoa, that is good. Yeah, wait.
It's my birthday.
Come on, just give me a little bit of Dora.
Hola, soy Dora.
That's easily. Come on, that's my favorite. Can you say map?
Can you say Modelo?
Oh, Mackenzie. This was a lot of fun.
Cheers.
And we're gonna be friends out west. So this is
Hell yeah.
This is far from goodbye. This is see you in a couple of months.
This is hey, how are ya? Let's do this again.
Let's do this again soon. And I'm gonna shake your hand here in a second, and then we're gonna just re-record. We're just gonna get the theme song playing and a quick intro of me describing how I fucked up.
Beautiful.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Hunter.